Hello, and welcome to Eastern Geeks Out, an EP Media associated podcast where I'll be discussing news and interesting topics in the gaming and entertainment world. My name is Deforest White.
And I am Jordan Lowry.
And we'll be your host for the duration of these episodes. Episode 6, man. How you feeling?
You know, I'm hanging in there.
We're about halfway through the semester, so kind of coming up on the old midterms there. Have you finished all yours yet?
Well, I do have a project coming up for almost all my classes, but so far all my classes are mostly taking that spring break initiative, so we're all just chugging along until spring break rolls around. So,
all right, I just finished my last midterm today, and got one back. Got a solid 100 on that PR exam.
Okay.
Showing off a little bit there. In terms of gaming news, though, we had a bit of a slow week this time. Not a ton to talk about, so I'm gonna reel it back a little bit and talk about some stuff that I've been playing, as well as just a little bit here and there from some things that are happening on the sidelines. I'm gonna go ahead and start off talking about I've been playing a whole lot of Fire Emblem Engage, which I am absolutely adoring. I wasn't 100% on board at first with the new direction in terms of character designs. A lot of the characters look kind of Genshin Impact-y for my taste. No hate towards Genshin Impact players,
Right.
with the notable exception that you do clog up every single convention since your game came out. Please,
No, that's
please
actually
try and
true.
make some
That's
room in the halls.
actually true. I don't know how many Genshin Impact players I've seen recently, but it's been a lot.
There's so many cosplayers everywhere, man.
Literally.
It's crazy. I mean, hey, free-to-play game, solid gacha mechanic, good character design, nice gameplay. I mean, if I wasn't as hyped as I am for the Breath of the Wild sequel, I mean, maybe I'd go back to the game, but as is, it's just not happening. I'm sorry.
I couldn't really get into it either. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you.
No?
I mean, I played it here or there, like maybe good solid like 5 hours, but that was all I could touch. Like, I'm not even gonna lie.
I played it for about a month after it first came out on PS4, and then never touched it again, just because it took up so much space.
No, literally.
It's a rough game to run if you're trying to, like, if it's not one of your main games that you're gonna go back to frequently. It's just gonna, like, take up so much space on your system.
Yeah.
It's a commitment. Fire Emblem Engage, though, absolutely fantastic. Some of the most solid gameplay that I've seen from the series. I'm not quite sold in terms of, like, the story direction. As of right now, it's fairly by the numbers. But it seems like it might be about to head more in the twisty-turny direction. We're kind of sort of still in the collecting an ensemble cast phase of things right now. So even though I've been to most of what the world map shows, I think that the story is going to take a direction where it's going to expand. Because otherwise, I'm like 24 hours in, and I'm coming up to the end of the game, and I'm going to be honest, I just don't think that's what's happening, especially after the colossal effort that was Three Houses, which launched on the Switch a few years back. But moving on to some other RPG topics, I saw recently the IB remaster, like the RPG Maker classic game, is getting ported to the Switch here in a little bit. I was wondering, Jordan, did you ever play any of those like older RPG Maker titles?
I have not, no. I don't know. I can't recall ever playing one, no.
So this is a weird subgenre that I see get a lot of love online, but only in like weird niche little fandoms. It's one of those things where I would almost categorize them as viral games in the same way that like Doki Doki Literature Club was, but they never caught like that sort of international level of attention as that game did, because they weren't like pretending to be all like cutesy on the outside and then reveal. Like, this is a whole big subgenre that's got like a really like deep connection with its player base. And I was gonna run some games by you and see if you recognized any of them, because I think I'm the sort of person who spends a lot of time in like online forums and like looking into like the weird, creepy Nitro Rad-esque like indie games off to the side, and I know you're very much more the like AAA title
Yeah,
focused,
typical
like,
standard.
right?
Yeah.
Which I mean, both perfectly valid.
Right.
Which is why we're here. I was wondering how many of these games you would be able to recognize.
Okay. Shoot.
Have you heard of Mad Father?
It sounds vaguely familiar, but
Okay.
I'm like, I don't think so.
Have you heard of Ib?
Ib, no.
Have you heard of To the Moon?
Yes.
Yes?
I have played that.
You have.
Yes. It was, or unless I'm thinking of a different one, because I'm thinking of like Deliver Us to the Moon. I think is what I'm
Nope.
thinking of. See, yeah.
Is it a top-down pixel-looking game? Nah, sorry.
I was thinking Deliver Us to the Moon, and it was like kind of a story based kind of puzzle game, kind of a fun game. I didn't really touch it that much, but dang.
Have you heard of Lisa the Painful?
I don't think so either.
No?
No,
Wild.
this is crazy.
I'm wondering because like each of these games that I'm describing has like a cult following unto itself. With sorry, have you heard of Yume Nikki? No? All right.
Nope.
Yume Nikki was the game that sort of pioneered this subgenre of like dreamscape RPG maker titles, where you play as a character going through this world of weird, difficult to decipher, like it looks like somebody removed the PTSD from their brain and then shoved it into a map and had you walk around it.
Oh.
And I don't know exactly how much attention that gets if you're not specifically looking for that. Because the last time that I saw a game like that get that level of attention would have been Omori. And I don't know if you've heard of that one. That released by a developer named Omocat, directly inspired by Yume Nikki, as well as a few of the other games I mentioned previously, and did extremely well. I've actually got it on a physical copy on PlayStation, but that one was crowdfunded, years in development, and I was trying to think if there's ever been another title that got that much attention, and it hit me just recently that I know of exactly one that did, and that's Undertale.
Well, yeah, I've heard of Undertale.
And people, I don't think, realized that that was originally an RPG Maker game. It was made originally with RPG Maker as the underlying format of it, and then Toby Fox switched to Game Maker when he started final development. But that game was directly inspired by not only the Earthbound franchise and Mother 3, it was also directly inspired by Yume Nikki and a bunch of these other games that I've mentioned. And I'm wondering if maybe these remasters that I'm seeing coming up frequently, because like The Witch's House and Mad Father have also been remastered and ported to Switch. I think we might be seeing a scenario in which that subgenre is one where you're only going to see remasters and ports of existing IPs that are using these systems, and where that like trend of games being created in this subgenre for new players just isn't going anywhere because the target audience doesn't exist anymore. They grew up, they got older,
Right, yeah.
And for lack of a better term, like the technology being used to create those games stopped being viable to create new content. Like even for ones that had like big studios behind them, like Corpse Party, which I don't know if you've heard of.
I have heard of Corpse Party.
You have heard of Corpse Party?
I think I've heard of Corpse Party.
That one's an interesting one. Corpse Party was an RPG Maker horror game that actually got enough of a following that it got several like PlayStation Portable sequels,
Really?
as well as an anime OVA. The same thing actually happened with another RPG Maker game called Angels of Death.
That one sounds familiar as well. Like
That one also has a Switch port for anyone interested. I know you're not really big on horror games.
Yeah, definitely not. I can't do horror films either. So,
But for me personally, I don't like horror games typically, but pixel horror and RPG Maker horror are like the bits that get to me in like the correct way of like makes me want to delve further into it. But taking things a little bit more lighthearted than, you know, the loss of an entire genre. We're like less than a month away from the Mario movie, man. It's time to like start making our like bingo cards.
Okay.
What do you think we're gonna see? Let's lay out crazy theories, like
Crazy
names
theories. Crazy theories right now. So what I really want to see is what do I want to see? Oh, I haven't even thought about this. Okay. I want to see some Mario transformations.
Okay.
Definitely Mario transformations in this.
You mean like power ups, or do
yeah,
you mean
I'm
like...
definitely talking about some power ups.
Okay,
you know?
cool. Any in particular that you want to see? We've seen Peach has the fire flower at some point.
I want to see that. I kind of want to see the leaf one.
Tanuki suit.
Yeah. And then just him's tiny. Maybe we can even get a tiny one.
Tiny Mario.
Yes,
Big
bro.
fan of Tiny Mario.
Yes, I need some Tiny Mario. And I know Luigi was in the movie. So
Played by Charlie Day.
yeah, get him in this too. I want to see Luigi having a big impact as well, not just Mario.
I want to see Luigi with his like Luigi's Mansion get up, sucking up.
That's
sucking
what
up
I'm
some
saying.
ghosts.
Yes,
Let's
and
go that route.
it really did look like in the trailer him like kind of in his little Luigi Mansion-esque kind of get up, and it was like maybe Luigi's Mansion. Maybe
I'm pretty hopeful. My top like power ups that I would want to see.
Okay.
I want to see one. I want there to be at least like a cameo of Flood, which was the pack that Mario had in Super Mario Sunshine that sprayed water. I want him to have the propeller mushroom at some point, which is my favorite power up in any Mario game ever.
Really?
Yep. And then I want there to be not just like as like a side cameo thing. I want there to be a fully voice acted Yoshi. And I want Yoshi to just have a normal human sounding voice.
Ew.
The deepest voice.
No, I will honestly revoke that. No.
If John Goodman were alive, I would want him to play Yoshi.
No, now that I think about it, you know, I want them to have a cameo. Because you know every game basically, and every game that has been released that has Mario in it has the little, help me out here. He's on a cloud and he's got the fishing rod. I think.
Lackey 2 is the one that like
Yes.
throws the little spiny dudes at you, holds the camera during
No, you know the one. Yes.
holds the camera during Mario 64, holds the lights during Mario Kart.
Yes.
Yeah,
that
it's
one.
Lackey 2.
I want him to just make a surprise appearance or something and just do something. Save Mario even.
You know what? A good reference that I feel like they could do, because the camera in Mario 64 was literally controlled by Lackey 2 holding the camera at all times. You could have like the end of the movie be like someone turns the camera around and it's Lackey 2 holding it and he's been filming the whole movie.
Well, wait, isn't there which Mario game was it? I think because there was a power up that you can like. No, it wasn't a power up. It was just him riding a cloud.
Yeah, if you kill Lackey 2 in most of the 2D Mario games and jump onto the cloud, you can steer it around.
That's
for a
what I
little
want.
bit.
I want that.
That'd be fun.
I want to see Mario riding on that cloud.
That'd be pretty cool.
I want to see it.
I think there's like some weird power-ups from the older games that'd be funny if they got included. Like, who remembers Frog Suit Mario from Mario 3? Gotta get that in there. But like,
Suit. That's crazy.
ooh, let's see Mario or Luigi, either one, turn into a statue with the gray leaf. Give me that.
Or I want to see the Golden Mario from
Ooh, Super
Yeah.
Mario 3, yeah, New Super Mario Brothers 2 on 3DS.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's
yeah.
a far-reaching pick,
See,
man.
I'm just saying. I want to see it.
That'd be cool.
I
Be
want
cool.
to see it. Yeah.
He speaks and it's just like gold clashing noise. Like,
Ew.
moving on. I have questions. How big are you on memes?
Memes?
Mhm.
It depends on the memes, and it depends on what the subject of the meme
Okay.
is.
Well, I've seen one particular meme recently that is sort of like encroaching on gaming and entertainment as a whole, and that is the AI generated president voices. Have you seen any of these?
Maybe.
Okay, I've been for the past 2 weeks almost exclusively watching videos of Trump, Obama, and Biden playing video games and
Playing
talking about
Minecraft?
anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've literally seen that so many times. I keep sending that to my friend. I'm like, no, listen, you weren't on, but me and Obama were like building the castle without
Hell
you.
yeah.
We have like we have a swimming pool and everything. You're just missing out. Build a
I
castle.
the best thing about it for me is just the fact that this technology is so easily accessible that anyone can just go type a script in and I can go find like, oh yeah, here's the president's like making a tier list about which Xenoblade game is the best one or
No,
like
literally.
what their Fire Emblem waifu is. And I'm like, oh, finally, they're speaking to me.
Not the president speaking.
I mean, it's pretty good though.
It is.
Occasionally you got Ben Shapiro in there, and he typically has some poor takes, but it's whatever. This is the closest we will ever get to being political on this podcast.
No, literally. That's straight up.
I guess technically we already talked Hogwarts Legacy, but
Oh yeah, that's true. That's very true.
but yeah, I've been like really enjoying them because something that I've noticed across them is that people seem to be playing like bit characters for the three presidents that are having their voices done. But they're consistent, even when
Yeah.
it's not like the same creator doing one. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm watching a video of like them playing Tekken against each other or them talking about which Yakuza game is their favorite. The characters, like how they speak, people have been like so exposed to this over the past like 20 years or so that they've got it ingrained in them of like, yeah, this is what these people would sound like if they were on Discord.
Oh no, literally.
Yeah.
I keep seeing it because it was who was it? It was playing Minecraft. That's the one I brought up. It was Trump, Obama, I think. Help me out here. Help me out.
Is it not Biden?
It's Biden, and then I think that was it. And then Queen Elizabeth joined the Discord.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's
So,
interesting.
Queen Elizabeth joined, and it was they were like they kicked Queen Elizabeth out of the call, and then they were like, we're gonna go bomb her house.
Ooh.
So I think Trump decided that he's going to go and be friendly towards Elizabeth and like distract her while they're planning all the bombs, and then they finally just joined the call together, and then they just boom.
Damn.
It's just over. So
That's crazy.
Queen Elizabeth's castle is blown up.
That's too bad.
I know.
Rest in peace, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know how this works.
I mean, she's dead, so.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, on another direction, I've got like two more like meme adjacent topics. First off, we talked last time a little bit about crossovers. We talked a bit about the Overwatch One Punch Man crossover. That started today. They got 4 skins, 3 of which you can get in the shop. They got one for Doomfist, that's him cosplaying as Saitama. They got one for Genji, that's him cosplaying as Genos. They got one for Kiriko, that's her cosplaying as Tatsumaki. The hair looks cool and everything else is straight ass. And then one really cool Soldier 76 one that you can get through the mission system that is him as Moomin Rider, which is pretty great. He rides a little bicycle. It's very cute. But like, we already kind of talked about that. We also talked about the Tomb Raider crossover with Power Wash Simulator, and they just released another one. Not with Tomb Raider. They released a Final Fantasy VII crossover in which you clean the bar in Midgard. And it's got full voice acting from the cast of Final Fantasy VII.
I need to play this game. Like, I really do. Like, I keep hearing all these like memes about it, and then I keep also hearing all this like stuff about how they're doing the crossovers and stuff. So I've touched on Power Washing Simulator before, but then it was just got boring when it started to get like super difficult when I had to clean the backyard. I'm like, why do I
Right.
have to clean the backyard? Who
I mean,
power washes the backyard?
it seems like people just value it for like, I mean, it's funny like to think that like yeah, it's a power wash simulator, but
Yeah.
also people seem to find it like incredibly relaxing.
I was just about to say, yeah, it's
And
relaxing.
I cannot understand this mindset. If you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go clean up this area from my favorite game, I would just spend the whole time walking around the environment and looking at the place from my favorite game. I've got no interest in cleaning up Cloud Strife.
No,
Like
really.
I'm good, uh, but I do find it really interesting. Like obviously they have the licensing for this because Power Wash Simulator is a Square Enix game, so they own both Tomb Raider and Final Fantasy.
Right.
But I'm wondering what other like Square Enix titles can we like nudge in that direction and be like, guys, we gotta have them wash this. We gonna get the gas station from Final Fantasy 15? Is that what's happening?
I mean,
it was
that-
in Tekken already.
That could be a good one. That could be a good one. I'm trying to think of a popular example of a Square Enix game, but I'm having such a brain fart right now for no reason.
I mean, we got Dragon Quest.
Avengers.
You know what? That's hilarious, actually.
See that? I can literally see them washing.
You know what? That might happen.
That
That's a
might
good
actually
pick.
happen. Oh my god!
Like they would have to get like the licensing from Marvel to do that, but
Mm-hmm.
they already did the Square Enix Avengers game. And hey, Power Wash Simulator is more successful than that game was.
No,
So-
literally. I don't know how though. Like that's crazy.
Oh man, they tried so hard with that one, and it just
It was at first it was like fun, but then it just started to get boring.
yeah.
Very boring. Couldn't do it.
Oh well. Final meme topic here. Leading into one of my first questions for you. Is a little game, a little indie game recently got a lot of attention, with its MS Paint art style. Have you seen Pizza Tower?
Pizza Tower. I don't think I have.
Now, I've spoken to you before about how the Game Boy Advance is like a big important system to me. It was not like a part of my childhood, but it was a system that had, I shouldn't say it wasn't, emulated games from the Game Boy Advance were a large part of my childhood because they were available on the Virtual Console on the 3DS, which I got a bunch of games through the Ambassador program for free. So that was my introduction to Fire Emblem through Fire Emblem and the Sacred Stone. That was my introduction to WarioWare through Mega Micro Games. And another another game that was like really important to me and just so wildly impressive for the system was Wario Land 4, which is a 2D side scroller that is I had thought was as insane as a side-scrolling game can possibly get. The method through which you play the game, like you play as Wario going into this pyramid and looting the fuck out of it, just like taking all these treasures and fighting weird nightmarish bosses. You fight like a beheaded chicken that lives in a cuckoo clock. You fight a baby that turns into like a weird inside out demon halfway through the boss. Like if it wasn't Wario and Goofy, you would think that you were playing a horror game. And the soundtrack of the game weirdly matched that, because it had these weird like psychedelic like sound fonts that went along with everything, and these weird like laid over voices that were randomized partially so that it would procedurally generate different voices every time that it was time for the voices to be in the song, and that it had an adaptive soundtrack that changed like depending on what power up you had currently, and the power ups would be like, oh, you're Wario but he's on fire, and actively burning to death. Or, oh, you're Wario, but he fell into a pool of acid and now he drips down the screen. Or, oh, you're Wario, but because he got pricked by an ant, he turned into a balloon and he's inflating until he pops and then regenerates into a human. This game is insane, Jordan.
Yeah, this sounds crazy. I don't know how to think about this.
It's also one of the like least linear platformers I've ever played. Like normally with Mario games, it's like you start on the left, you go to the right, you get to the end, game done, win. With this game, it's like every single level is this weird, nightmarish, labyrinthian area that you got to go through, and you like go up, down, left, right, into tunnels, out of tunnels, like it's all direction. And at the end of every level, you press a switch, and it starts self-destructing the level that you're in, and you have to run and speed run your way back through the level before it's destroyed.
Oh wow!
And it's really cool. I love it, genuinely. Pizza Tower took all of that, decided, let's make our main character the meme version of what people imagine when you say someone is Italian. Let's make the entire thing in MS Paint, and let's give it the most insanely hype soundtrack to ever exist. And then make it look like you're playing it through a ×4 speed filter the entire time. And I cannot express to you how insane this game is, just in terms of appearance.
Wow.
The main character's name is Peppino Spaghetti. And he is the most anxious boy you've ever seen.
Oh, gosh.
He is a white chef hat wearing Italian man running a little Peppino's pizza parlor, and an evil pizza tells him that at the top of Pizza Tower there's a laser that's going to destroy his pizzeria. And so Peppino insanely runs towards the tower and climbs it. And every single animation that they've given this man, his eyes are like bugging all the way out to Donkey Kong levels. He's like breaking his arms. He's running in the most like mad dash 9 frames a second. Like, it's insane seeing just how, 60 frames per second, but like 9, he's got so many unique animations and like frames of it. Watching it all go together is somehow the most fluid thing you've ever seen, but it's like such fluid chaos that all flows so well into itself. And I'm looking at all of this, and it's like I mentioned, it's a spiritual successor to the Wario Land franchise, and it's causing such great nostalgia for me. But I'm looking online, and people are going insane over it. This game's gone viral. It's like $20 on Steam. I think it's only available on PC right now, which means I don't have any way of playing it. So I'm looking at this from the outsider's perspective of like, that looks so cool and I want to play it. You've got a golf level. You've got a level that's like a parody of FNAF. And this whole thing is a side-scroller. But like, there's no way for me to properly explain like the chaos of it without both my having played it and your having seen it. So instead, I'm going to pull up a list of songs in the official soundtrack and just list some of the names here.
Interesting. And you said this is on Steam?
It is on Steam. We have such songs as I Ain't Got No Time to Dance, Way of the Italian, Yeehaw Delivery Boy, It's Pizza Time, Mondays, and then my favorite, The Death That I Deserve-ioli.
I hate it here, bro. No way. That's crazy.
I want to play this game more than anything, Jordan.
I might. It's $20.
It's $20.
I might buy it.
It's man, if you buy it, you gotta let me come over and play it.
I got
dude.
you. I might buy that.
It looks insane. I'll play some of the soundtrack for you when we're done here. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
I was gonna ask though, what are your like general thoughts on like the concept of a spiritual successor, like a game that is made that's clearly inspired by like another franchise, but is sort of like taking the place, like filling the void left by it. Like in all likelihood, we're never gonna get another like Konami-led Metal Gear game, but maybe
Yeah.
someone down the line will make a game that's like a spiritual successor to Metal Gear. Like, what are your thoughts on that? And then, are there any like game franchises that you would want to see revitalized in that sort of way?
So for spiritual successor, I would really, I kind of, I like the idea of spiritual successors. I'm not gonna lie. When like I watch all these like game reviewers talk about a game, they always specify like one game that's like remind some of this game. So it's like always a spiritual like successor, I feel like. But so I mean, I don't mind it. It's not like I'm against it, but I'm also like, I don't see how this game looks like this game. You know, like how people say like, oh, how this open world game reminds me of Breath of the Wild. I don't really like that because I don't see it. But in terms of games I want to see become like a spiritual like have a spiritual successor, I would say the first one that comes to my mind is probably Call of Duty.
I'm sorry.
I think wait, hear me out. I know Call of Duty is still like going strong. It will always go strong. Strong game, super strong game. But in terms of, I'm bored of it. Like I'm really bored of it. So
Right.
I want to see another game that takes the place of Call of Duty.
So you're not so much asking for like a game to take the spirit of what Call of Duty once was and run with it. You're asking for a game to straight up kill Call of Duty. You want like an opponent to it.
Yes.
That may be the most you answer on the planet.
I'm tired of Call of Duty sometimes. It's just I can't do it no more, bro. Like it's just like Fortnite.
Then play Battlefield. Play Battlefront. I don't know.
Don't do that either. Don't do that. Don't do that. I can't do that. That game is not that good either. I'm like, it's so boring.
Man, I feel like you're not hurting for realistic first-person shooters, though. Like,
I'm really not. I'm really not. It's just, I don't know. Call of Duty just gives me an ick nowadays, you know?
yeah, you're not just adhering to the good old days of Modern Warfare. You're not feeling it.
No,
All right.
not at all.
I don't know if it's technically considered like a spiritual successor, but we did just recently get a remaster of the original Dead Space,
I did see that, yes.
and people love it.
I kind of want to play it. I really want
I
to play
also
it.
want to play. I've only ever played Dead Space 2.
I've never played Dead Space. So, obviously, because it's, horror and
Well,
stuff. But
yeah, I feel like this is like right on the verge of like it on a technical level. Yeah, I guess it's horror, but it's horror in the same way that you can be like Alien is a horror movie.
yeah. But, like, I want to play this game. And I also want to play the Callisto Protocol.
Really?
Yes, because I feel like I've seen a little bit of gameplay on the Callisto Protocol because I'm like, I'm never going to play this game. And it kind of inspired me to play that game.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really interesting because I've only really heard reviews of that game of people being like, I expected this to be the spiritual successor to Dead Space, and it disappointed me.
Yeah, I've heard that too, but then I'm like, I want to see what all the hype's about, because at the end of the day, this game, people were talking about it for a while, died down, and now no one's talking about it anymore. I've never played it. I've seen a little bit of gameplay. It looks pretty fun because like I love like the PS5 and how it's like actually the PlayStation in general, and how it's like the controllers are like actually like built in to have like a built-in microphone so you can hear what's coming through. And so I really like that aspect, and it's just one of those small details that's just like drew me in instantly that I saw. So I was like, I'll play it.
So your big draw for the Callisto Protocol is like the audio going through your controller?
Yes. I
I'm
wish I was
so
lying.
confused.
I really wish I was lying on that one. But yes, that is the main thing that I was like, that's really interesting.
Okay. You know what? I do actually have a weird side tangent related to that, which is I always thought it was funny when game companies put like speakers in their controllers, like because it almost never gets used. But like there were some games on the Wii where you would be like playing Zelda or whatever, and then like Twilight Princess, when Midna sees something, she speaks through the speaker on the Wii remote, and you hear her voice come through there instead of like the speaker of the TV. And I was like, that's weird because one, this speaker on this tiny little thing is bad, but two, there was nothing on like the TV side of things. Like if this didn't work, I would just have no idea. I would have to look for visual cues.
No, literally.
But an even more niche one I came across just this past week. As usual, I was on my KOF 15 grind. You know, I'm King of Fighters, my boys. I was playing a game online against somebody, and we finished the game when we got to the third person on each of our teams, and the game went to a timeout where we had the exact same amount of health left, and so the game ended in a draw.
Oh.
And this has never happened before. I didn't even know that the PS4 controller had a speaker in it. But when the two of our characters said their like quotes of like, this is the thing I say when there's a timeout, it came through the controller. And it doesn't do that when you get a timeout normally.
Oh.
It's only when there's a draw, and I don't know why. Why is that the circumstance for that to happen? What does it add to the game? Who at SNK was like, I'm going to go to the trouble of making this very specific thing happen?
Well, see, that's a different story, I feel like. But like it's like when you have a game that just has that attention to detail. Like if I get a phone call, I don't want it coming like he's right next to me being like, hello. You know, like I want to hear him through the speaker. Like I want to hear it through a speaker, not my TV. So like when you get like a cool little like feature that's just like,
oh, you want people to call you through the PS5 remote?
Yes, I want them to utilize that instantly. Well, technically they do have that since PS5's like you can chat through your controller. So
yeah, I was gonna say DualSense actually does have like voice chat integration.
I think I've only chatted with one person on that mic. I mean, on my controller, and it was an interesting conversation we had. But
I can't imagine that ever being preferable to just having a headset plugged in, though.
It's not enjoyable, but definitely for like single players, like I feel
right.
It's just, you know,
It seems like the same sort of like, oh, this changes everything sensation that you would get from like a rumble pack or like controller vibration of like, yeah, this is gonna be like the big deal for a little bit, and then it isn't.
What you mean? No, it's always the big deal. If I feel that controller just perfectly vibrate like I don't know, a click or something.
Right.
I'm obsessed. I'm already like full on in.
Now I hate to break it to you, but that's been around since the N64, my guy.
Well, I know
you plug that in on the back of your 3-prong controller.
But even then, it's just like, it's kind of cool to think about just that little like attention to detail, I'd say, because it's just interesting, you know. But that's just me.
I suppose that's valid. It's not like that technology like went away. The fact that it's still being used is testament to people enjoying it. So there is like an element of truth to that. Going back to the Dead Space remaster though, sort of similar question about spiritual successors. Is there a game that you would want to get like a remaster in the future, do you think? And I swear to God, if you answer Scooby-Doo.
That too. But okay, I had a perfectly good answer to this in the future. I mean, in the past. I gotta think about that.
All
Let's
right,
see.
all right.
So it's
Because I got my answer off rip, but like,
ooh, okay. Go. You give your answer. I'll have to think about this for a second.
Nintendo, Shigesata Itoi. Hi. Please release Mother 3 to English audiences. Please. Do it. We've been waiting for like almost 3 decades now. Please give us Mother 3.
That's crazy.
Y'all added Game Boy Advance to the library of games on the Nintendo Switch Online services. Please let us have Mother 3. Remaster it. Remake it. Make a new one. Who cares? Let us play Mother 3. Everyone in this entire continent who's ever played Lucas and Smash Brothers has not played the game that he's from legally. That's crazy. Why you letting us have that? Let us have Mother 3. Let us play Mother 3. I like Mother 3. It's a good game. You should let us play Mother 3.
He really likes his Mother 3. Wow. That's crazy.
Anyway, your turn.
Okay. So I just first thing that popped into my head because I was thinking about all the games that's like, what's those old games that's just like it needs a remaster. Now, I want to see. I got like 3 maybe.
Okay.
I got first one off the rip. There's been confirmation, but I want to see this happen already, like full on trailer and everything. GTA 6. Come on, don't do that.
That is a sequel and not a remaster.
And
that doesn't answer the question, Jordan.
Okay, fine. Scratch that one off the list because I don't know, because I guess English. Anywho, and then
this is a game that already exists that we want to be remade.
Well, I guess okay.
Because GTA 5 isn't GTA 4.
GTA 5 remaster. I'm just kidding.
I feel like that happened already.
That's in the process. Anywho, but okay. So I want to see another Rockstar title, Red Dead Remastered. We already have an RDR2, but I want a Red Dead Remastered.
All right.
And then, obviously, Scooby-Doo. But anywho.
Oh, God.
I would have to say, I remember playing this back in the day, and I don't know what popped in my head just now. Astro Boy.
Okay.
What happened to Astro Boy? Like Astro Boy. I think DS days. I'm going to go with DS. Normal DS. Astro Boy.
I'm so wildly confused. Because Astro Boy, or like the Mighty Atom, was the original like black and white anime from Japan that got ported over here. That one? We are talking about that one.
Yeah. The one with the boy and the like kind of like mecha boy or something like that, who's got like, I think he's got like
spiky black hair and red underwear.
Yes.
Mostly naked. Okay, so we are actually talking about the same person. What game are you referring to?
I remember playing a game. It was just of Astro Boy or whatever, and he was just like, I think it was like a platformer or something. I was like,
oh my gosh, I'm looking at the DS game, and it looks like it is a tie-in game with the 2009 CGI movie starring Nicolas Cage. Is this what we're talking about?
It might be. I think I only
Does it look like that?
Actually, I think that's it.
Yeah, oh boy, all right, okay. Well, it looks like maybe sort of close to Mega Man. Kind of. I've never heard of this game.
Really?
I didn't know this existed.
I don't know how I just randomly remembered that, but it just popped in my head all of a sudden. I was like, yeah, I can see it.
Because, like, don't get me wrong, I think a new Astro Boy game would be great, but, like, Astro Boy and the Mighty Atom are, like, some of the most important fictional characters ever created. That was, like, the birth of, like, what would go on to be considered modern manga and anime.
No, literally. I'm just saying, like that.
I'm on board with this.
I'm
just confused as to how you got here.
I don't remember. Like, I just remember playing the game, and it was just one level. I guess I was stuck on that level for so long. I just remembered that. It just randomly popped into my head.
I mean, hey, it would not be the first time that licensed tie-in games like this got remastered. There's that one SpongeBob game, Battle for Bikini Bottom, got a remastering.
I knew I remembered that game because I played it on, I think, a Wii in a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I remember.
You played Astro Boy, or you played
the SpongeBob game?
Okay,
but not Battle to Bikini Bottom.
No.
I feel like there's a different SpongeBob game.
I guarantee you, there's gonna be like
on the Wii,
tens of SpongeBob
on the Wii.
games.
It was just a SpongeBob game on the Wii, and it was just I played it at a hospital. That's all I remember.
Let's see. We got SpongeBob's Atlantis SquarePants. We got SpongeBob SquarePants Nicktoon Globs of Doom.
No.
We got Truth or Square. We got Creature from the Krusty Krab.
There's too many. How many are there, bro?
You already knew SpongeBob was like gonna have so many tie-in games.
I didn't know it was gonna be this many.
There's so many.
I really didn't know. I think it was the Atlantis one. No. What console was that on?
These were all Wii games.
Okay,
Every single one of the ones I just listed
might
were
have been
Wii
something.
games.
It might have been something, but no. I also want to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay. Well, we actually just recently got a side-scrolling TMNT game that was supposed to be like in the style of like Turtles in Time. That was, I think, Nicktoons. Sorry, not Nicktoons. Nickelodeon actually gave the licensing to an indie studio to do like modern sprite work for it. It looks really good. You can play as like Casey Jones, and you play, I think you can play as Shredder. I'm pretty sure you can play as Shredder.
Oh.
And April O'Neil, you can.
Mm-hmm. I want a remake of the old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game on the PS2.
All right, we're going way more specific. Let's go.
It's literally called TMNT. I swear to you, I still remember that game like it was yesterday, I think.
Now, because it is called TMNT, I'm obligated to ask, is it the tie-in game to the TMNT movie also released around, the 2007?
Yep, that's it. What is with me and tying it?
I don't know.
What? That's crazy.
Is it that one?
Yeah, that's it, I think.
Yeah.
Nope, that looks like it. Oh my gosh, that was such a fun game. Like, it just... Oh my gosh. I remember like it was yesterday. I was trying to 100% it before I even knew 100% it was a thing.
Really?
Yeah. I was like all up on that game. Probably played that a solo 3 times as a kid. But it's been great.
Well, it is sitting at a 6 out of 10 on IGN and a 61% on Metacritic.
That's low.
That's low.
That's low.
Now, there are a bunch of 4 and 5 star reviews on Google from people being like, this is such a nostalgic game from my childhood. So looks like you're not alone in this.
Cause I mean, it's such a.
Is it just like a 3D beat 'em up looks like?
Yeah, it basically is. It's you playing as the cast, obviously from the movie,
Right.
And it was just going back and forth. I think you got to even fight. You played as Leonardo.
Mm-hmm.
And got to fight Raphael.
Oh.
And the from that scene, you also had.
I've never seen this movie.
You've never seen it?
No. Okay. You're gonna be angry at me.
I'm already. It's kind of.
I've only seen the first Michael Bay Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
I didn't switch the camera on that one, and that just hurt. Like my face, I'm glad they see my face right now because it's hurt. That is crazy.
That's all I've seen.
I can't believe.
I've seen the OG like cartoons, and I've read a decent amount of the comics. That's it.
That's crazy. No, literally, this movie was so good. I don't know who was playing in it. I can't just be like, oh, these people. But it was such a good movie. It was supposed to be like kind of a live action before live action was things, but so it had like.
Well, live action has been a thing since film has been a thing.
I mean, like it was like.
Do you mean like CGI?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
There we go. It was great CGI. Great CGI. Like, I kid you not, it looked so realistic that it was like it could have been classified as live action. I'm just saying. But
Wow.
you need to watch it. I think again, it's just called TMNT.
I'm looking at pictures from this movie.
Mm-hmm. It's a great movie. Like, great movie. So nostalgic. I'm obsessed.
Wild.
Literally obsessed.
Just so you know, the movie is sitting at a 35% on Rotten Tomatoes.
You're lying.
I'm
bro.
not.
No way.
I'm not.
No way.
Yeah.
That's
with a budget of $34 million, narrated by Lawrence Fishburne? Really?
Sure.
Yo, Patrick Stewart's in this? Oh my gosh, now I gotta watch it.
Oh my gosh. It's so compelling too. It's like, oh, I keep hitting my microphone, but it hits.
Part of me wants to take your word for it and then never watch it, and then part of me wants to immediately watch it right now.
I think you should immediately watch it right now. I'm just saying, since you've never seen this movie, I feel like you'd enjoy it.
You know what? That's fair. I'll get to that right after I finish the Professor Layton movie that I started a week ago and then stopped halfway through.
Such a good movie. Such a good movie.
You go watch Professor Layton and the Eternal Diva, and I'll go watch TMNT, and then we'll come back in 2 weeks and tell us what we thought.
See, that's probably going to be like what you just said just a second ago. It's probably not going to happen. But
It might, though.
it might.
Or we could come back and talk about Pizza Tower. Who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe we'll have played it by then. All right. Well, that's all I got for you. Thank you all so much for listening to us here at the EP Media Network. Once again, as usual, if you would like to reach out to us, my school email address is deforest_white42. Sorry, that's wrong. deforest_white124 at mymail.eku.edu. And you can find our podcast, as well as all of the contact information for the EP Media Network, at www.easternprogress.com. Thank you all for listening. I've had a lovely time speaking with you all. Good evening, good night, love you, bye-bye. Anything from you, Jordan?
Drink water.
Drink
eat some
water.
Food, and play your video games.
See y'all.